Hi and welcome to the video. Only normal types in Ruby and Sapphire was quite fun for me to do, with Zangoose to help setting up the wins. Now I want to find out, can I beat Pokemon leafgreen with only bug type Pokemon? Bug types are the weakest Pokemon in the franchise. And if you think about Caterpie and Metapod, yeah, those are not the strongest kind of Pokemon, while Pinsir and Scyther are version exclusives. I get some more, but Kanto doesn't have a lot of bug types. Let's talk about the rules. I can only use bug type Pokemon in battle. I can't use any items in battle besides Pokeballs, but held items are allowed. And I play on set mode. Rock could be hard to deal with, but should be doable. With that said, let's begin. Oh, if you liked the video, please subscribe for more in the future. The starter Pokemon for this run will be Bulbasaur. I feel like Charizard is a bit more dangerous than Arcanine in the end, and especially in the early game. The first battle of the run ended already in a lose. That is amazing. I mean, bug types are technically pretty weak, so it's quite fitting actually. The first teammate is available in Viridian Forest and it's Caterpie. Everybody knows Caterpie, most likely the strongest Pokemon I can get in this run. Vanilla has a timid nature, which is actually perfect, adding speed and decreasing attack. Maybe Modest would have been even better, increasing special attack instead, but I take it. The second teammate of the run is in this forest as well, Beedrill. Not as strong as Caterpie, at least not in this generation, but this one will be very useful later on. Chocolate's nature is bashful, which is neutral. A lot of people dislike neutral natures, but I think it's totally fine as long as the nature doesn't work against me. To be honest, both Pokemon are basically useless at this point, but can be very strong if they evolve. Fortunately, they evolve very fast. I get the second stage very quickly, Metapod and Kakuna. And after a slightly longer grind, they evolve into Butterfree and Beedrill. Very interesting to have fully evolved Pokemon before the first gym, but that's bug types for you. Before I try the first gym leader, I want to take revenge on the rival for beating my pawn in the first battle. I mean, of course I win easily. The only reason Chocolate nearly went down was Pidgey's sand attack. I feel this battle can be very interesting in some runs, but I think at level 9 this would have been brutal, losing with Kakuna and Metapod alone. Feels like the episode with Ash's Metapod against the Bug Trainer's Metapod. Very intense. Rock is a rock type gym leader and would be a huge issue if not for Vanilla. At level 14 it learns Stun Spore, and with Harden from the good old days as Metapod, it can boost its defense against Geodude quite good. Some attacks went through, but thanks to Harden it's a very low amount of damage. This is all just a setup for the real problem Pokemon in this battle, Onix. Onix has Rock Tomb, which is 4 times the damage because it's double super effective. But thanks to Harden, Vanilla can tank 2 of them, and with Stun Spore you can get some additional turns. This battle could have been even easier if I level up to 15 or very close to and gain a level up in battle. At 15, Vanilla learns Sleep Powder and that makes the battle nearly trivial. Anyway, Brock's defeated and I try to use very little Sleep Powder in this run, just to see how far I can go. Inmount Moon is the next team member to find. Paras is part bug and part grass, very important for the next gym. I really like this Pokemon, if it wouldn't be so slow. Anyway, Mint has a docile nature, which is also neutral. One of the great things of Paras is the ability Effect Spore. If it's a bit more tanky, it can take the hit, give a status move on the opponent, and your use of Spore is wasted. Wait, that's not good, isn't it? The next part of the game includes 2 rival battles, which will be very hard considering Pidgeotto and Charmander or Charmeleon. I really don't want to use Sleep Powder Stall, but I think that's the only option I have. Mint is double weak to both Pidgeotto and Charmander, while the other ones only receive double damage. That doesn't sound too appealing. I think Misty is way easier to handle and I could use the extra experience points. Yeah, Misty will be done first and I think the rival won't be doable for now. Misty is the water type gym leader and this battle was very annoying. I didn't want to use Sleep Powder that early on and see how far I can go without. Stun Spore is used instead and I like that Staryu tried to spam Harden just in case, and after the first super potion it went to a slog. Confusion needs like 4 or 5 hits to KO and Staryu spammed Recover, healing 50% of its HP back every turn. It has 20 PP in this game, which was way too much if you ask me. Anyway, the battle took a long time, I used over 10 Confusion at that point. But after a while, Staryu decided it's enough and went for the attack, dealing a lot of damage with each water pulse. I just wanted to see 1, but 2 can be fine depending on the move Starmie will use. In the end, Staryu goes down and Misty's ace Starmie is here. I wanted to use Stun Spore again, but no. 1 water pulse and Vanilla is gone. I use Mint next and Water Pulse critical hits and nearly KOs it on the spot. But Stun Spore hits and now comes a really funny stretch of the battle. It stays paralyzed multiple turns in a row while Bullet Seed destroys it, even if slowly. You can find Bullet Seed in Mount Moon, sometimes it's quite nice to have. After a while Mint goes down before the finishing line, but Chocolate is here for revenge and goes in to KO with Fury Attack. That was my first try and Misty is defeated. I thought this might be harder, but considering the amount of paralyzed on Starmie, I will not complain. The rival battle was crazy, but let's talk about what happened. First is Pidgeotto against my Vanilla. I went for Stun Spore, trying to get some free turns, but the bird used a lot of sand attacks. At some point I felt the need to switch out into Chocolate. But now Pidgeotto wants to KO my Beedrill so bad. Gust Dust over half and Oranberry pushes the HP out of another Gust. But then came Quick Attack. The rival was out for blood. I finished it off with Vanilla in the end. Now comes the other problem, Charmander. Ember does a lot of damage, but Confusion does so little. At the finish line, Ember hits, puts Vanilla down to 2 HP and then gets burned to get KO'd at the last HP. That was so on point, I can't even be mad about it. Mint is my last Pokemon and KOs Charmander. Abra is not an issue, it can't do anything and just takes 2 moves. Last is Rattata and I made a mistake right off the bat. Clicking on Poison Powder by the effect spot triggers, which I predicted earlier, but yeah. Bullet Seed did a lot of damage and Rattata went low. And then it used a Quick Attack which critically hits and leaves Mint with 2 HP. That was crazy close. But Rattata goes down and the rival is defeated. Maybe bugs are really good? Underestimated typing? We will see. After talking to Bill, receiving the SSN ticket, I can hop over to Vermilion City and trade my Spearow for a Farfetch'd. I won't use it in battle, but I can use HM Cut and sometimes later Fly for easy travel. Right north of Vermilion City are wild Meows. I caught some of them for the pickup ability, like I did with Zigzagoons in the normal type run for Ruby and Sapphire. They will never appear in battle, but they can grab a very nice stuff like nuggets, rare candies and all the useful berries. Speaking of berries, on the SSN are very useful berries to find. One is a Cherry Berry, which is useful for Lieutenant Surge in just a bit. Also, TM Brick Break is here, and Chocolate can use it to beat up multiple Pokemon of the next major battle. The rival on SSN is only a slight upgrade to the rival on Nugget Bridge, so this battle will be fine. The best shot against Pidgeotto should be Chocolate with Brick Break. It's neutral and deals about half, which is fine. Sand Attack might be annoying, but let's push forward for now. Kadabra is faster and it usually uses Disable first. I have to keep it in mind for most runs. But here it doesn't matter and it goes down in one use of Twin Needle. The Fire-type Charmeleon can create a lot of problems and I don't want to deal with that. I switch into Vanilla and use a Smoke Screen. First Stun Spore to make the battle easier and then use Confusion and I did barely any damage. Ember hits and crits to KO Vanilla. That damage is crazy and will get worse over time. I can just use Chocolate again and go for damage. Brick Break deals a nice chunk and it stays paralyzed, basically the best thing that could have happened. Charmeleon goes down. Last Eradicate, but I have Brick Break and the red goes down in one go. The rival is defeated and I hit him so hard that I hoped he gets to the Pokemon Center fast, while I get the HM for Cut to open the way to the next gym. Between the rival and the next gym is not a lot of stuff to do, so I hop right over and test the gym. Mint can learn Dig, so it will be my opener. I hope it deals enough damage considering the level difference. Lieutenant Surge is usually pretty easy to beat, but let's see if this battle is doable or not. I have a Paras with Dig. It resists electric type moves, but it deals no damage. Voltorb survives the dig and that was very annoying to see. Now the battle will become a little grind, especially since Bullet Seed deals so little damage that Mint won't even KO with another dig. But Lieutenant Surge seems to only use one Super Potion here and let Voltorb go. Pikachu is next and Mint is already very low in HP, but Pikachu's defenses are paper thin and goes down after one dig hit. Lieutenant Surge's ace is Raichu and I potentially could still use Mint later, so I switch into Chocolate, wanting to use Twin Needle to KO the Electric Red, but it deals only about half and Shockwave nearly KOs. Another Twin Needle and Raichu barely survives. I had to check if Twin Needle really can poison, but whatever. Thanks to the berry, Chocolate hands on after a second wave, and now, of course, Twin Needle misses thanks to an earlier double team. Chocolate goes down, but I can still use Vanilla to finish it. Raichu is faster, hits with Shockwave, but my Butterfree survives on 3 HP and KOs Lieutenant Surge's last Pokemon. The battle was very close and I didn't think I will get it first try, but here we are. On the way to Rock Tunnel, and inside are several nice items to get. Right before Rock Tunnel is the TM for Aerial Ace. I'm not sure if I was able to use it on any run before, but I have multiple Pokemon which could profit heavily for it. In the end, Chocolate got it. It's the best Pokemon against grass types I have right now. Later on it could be Pinsir, but I won't probably need it anymore at that point. In Rock Tunnel is the move tutor for Rock Slide. Just 2 months ago. I wouldn't even know that move was available here, but since then I use the move as often as I can. It's probably the best answer to Pidgeot I will have. After Rock Tunnel I can get the berries like Lumberry, the TM for Return, the strongest normal type move after Hyper Beam, and with the Hot Tea I get access to Saffron City and the TM for Psychic, which is the single best move Vanilla can get in the run. I have the option to wait until I get Venomoth, but it can learn Psychic by itself while Vanilla cannot. At the Celadon Game Corner is one Pokemon which I can add to the team, and that is Cookie, the Pinsir. For only 2500 coins you can get one of the strongest bug type Pokemon in the game. Cookie has a mild nature, increasing special attack and decreasing defense. That is very bad. Special attack is not usable for Pinsir, and defense can be important in some battles. But I'm confident that Cookie will be one of the MVPs in this run. Erika is a grass type gym leader and bugs are at an advantage against her. Didn't even heal to see the first try. I used Vanilla against Victreebel and Psychic did a huge amount of damage. Just one more hit and it will go down. But Stun Spore, let's say, was very annoying. Vanilla stayed paralyzed not once but twice, and that's exactly enough to be KO'd here. It was so unlucky. I chose Chocolate to finish it up and it did very fast. Tangela is next and I use Aerial Ace against it, but it is actually not the strongest move I have. It would be Trin Needle. I think Tangela and the Paras line are the only grass types in Kanto which are weak to bug type attacks. Last is Vileplume and I go for Aerial Ace, which did slightly more than half, and Stun Spore was used, but Chocolate had a Cherry Berry equipped to negate paralysis and then went on to KO Vileplume with another flying type attack. Erika was defeated in the first try and I actually expected it to be the case. Bugs are awesome in Pokemon. Erika's TM is Giga Drain, a very nice grass type attack. I use it in Vanilla because Mint has Bullet Seed, and while that isn't as strong as the Giga Drain, it can learn more later on. Grass type moves are mostly used for rock types. Most water types can be beaten with other moves, while I can only get grass type attacks for rock and ground types. Anyway, most items in the Rocket Hideout aren't that interesting. I think I will sell off most of them later on, but I think I don't need the Pokemoney. Nobody can learn Ice Beam or Thunderbolt anyway. Shadow Ball is nice, but only Vanilla can learn it, and in this game goes the physical. And Butterfrees don't have good physical attack to use it. The head of Team Rocket is Giovanni, and his team is on paper pretty good against bug types, but I have the answers ready. Mint has Bullet Seed, the worst grass type attack, but if it can hit 5 times, it can actually defeat Onix. And it does. Barely. No, Rhyhorn is similar to Onix for this particular battle. Leer can be annoying, but Rhyhorn goes down immediately due to Bullet Seed. Mint should be faster, but Paras are very bad at a speed stat. Last is Kangaskhan and I want to finally use Cookie. It has Brick Break from the Celadon department store to have it some levels earlier. Mega punched it over half and I need at least 3 hits, but Kangaskhan doesn't want to KO Cookie. I really like that decision. Please more of that. Thank you. Giovanni is defeated and as a reward, Mint evolves into its final form, Parasect. Mint will be way stronger now and maybe I can use it some more, but not for the next battles to come. With the Silph Scope from Giovanni, I can climb the Pokemon Tower, and I want to use Cookie now a little bit more. When do I get another chance at using a Pinsir? The rival wants to battle again, and this time he has some new Pokemon in his team, which could pose a problem. I leave with Cookie against Pidgeotto, and I was surprised that I am faster and one-hit KO the bird with Rock Slide. That was a nice surprise. Charmeleon is next and fire is usually a very bad sign, but no. Being faster and having Rock Slide made this Pokemon disappear pretty fast. I don't have a good move against Execute, and that showed. I got lucky that Hypnosis misses, but Vice Grip is the strongest move against Execute and I need 3 of them. Lead Seed can be annoying, but I have to see how it goes. Kadabra has a very low physical defense, so it goes down in one hit as expected. Last Gyarados and Hyper Cutter negates Intimidate, but Rock Slide misses, while Thrash did a huge amount of damage. Fortunately, I hit the next turn and the Water Snake went down in one clean hit. The rival is out of Pokemon, and I was very surprised how strong a Pinsir can be. That is very good to know for the upcoming battles. The next part of the game is very interesting. One teammate is still available to catch, and after that it's time to blast through the gyms one after another. Story-wise, there's only the Silph Co left. Koga should be pretty easy considering I resist basically all of his moves, well, besides self-destruct, and I can hit hard with Vanilla Psychic. The special defense of Coughings are quite low, so it should be a good amount of damage. But that's not all. The Safari Zone has usually one of the best moves in the game, Surf, but I can't use it. It seems bugs in Kanto can't swim. East of Future City are Wild Venonats, the last bug type of the run. Caramel joins the team. It has a modest nature, which is great for more special attack. I didn't need attack anyway. Before I can actually use it, I train it up to be able to face the battles ahead. Unfortunately, it is in the same game as Butterfree, because they fulfill the same role in most runs. Both can use Sleep Powder and Stun Spore. Both have physic type attacks in its toolkit. The difference is the typing. Butterfree is part flying, while Venomoth are part poison. I like them both, so it's fine. Caramel evolves into its final form, Venomoth. I delayed the evolution a bit to get Psybeam a bit earlier. Losing Gust doesn't really matter, I wouldn't use it anyway. Koga is a poison type gym leader and has basically no chance against me whatsoever. I leave with Caramel and Koga has a Coughing, but it goes down in one Psybeam without any issues. Now comes Smug and it has a lot of special defense compared to Coughing. I want Stun Spore first because Smug is a notoriously user of Minimize. After that it's time to pummel Mug with Psybeams. After 2 I wasn't so sure if a third one would KO and I tried to put it into range with Secret Power. Thanks to Acid Armor, I shouldn't overshoot the damage into potion range. After 2 hits I go for the KO with another Psybeam. The second Coughing has no chance as well and goes down to a single Psybeam. No, Koga's ace wheezing a different kind of story. Psybeam hits, but it is exactly half I think. Smokescreen was used and in good old fashion, a single smokescreen is enough to make Caramel completely useless, never hitting again until it goes down. Wow, just wow. I use Vanilla and go for Psychic, it deals a bit more damage and Wheezing goes down, leaving Koga without any Pokemon to use. The badge wasn't really hard to get, but Koga is always some kind of gamble if the moves are going to stick or not. Also, I was quite a few levels below his Pokemon. I had some tries against the rival in Silph Co. It was actually the first battle in this run which gave me some trouble. I found a way to beat him pretty consistently. Well, depending on a 90% hit attack, at least I know how to beat him. The rival in Silph Co would be quite dangerous if they would change this one thing. Anyway, first up is Pidgeot against my Cookie. Rock Slide hits for over half and also flinches. Very good start. I go for Brick Break and it's the first time it doesn't KO and I get some damage back. That could have worked out a bit better, but Pidgeot goes down regardless. Charizard is here and I need to switch out into Mint just for it to get absolutely destroyed. Well, that's the price I had to pay. I chose Caramel next for Stun Spore. In hindsight, Vanilla may have been a bit better because of Compound Ice, but it hits and Caramel is down as well. I can now use Cookie again and go for Rock Slide to beat Charizard in one go. I don't have any moves against Execute and switch out. Here comes a strategical error. I choose Vanilla next, because I wanted to go down and make room for Chocolate, but I just could have used the Lumberry to negate any status move. It happens. I just press on Thief and actually managed to beat the X here, which is very interesting. Alakazam is completely useless, it has no damaging moves besides Future Sight. What were they thinking? They should have given it at least Psybeam, or was that too much? After a while Vanilla goes down and I can finally use Chocolate to clean Alakazam up. Just one Twin Needle and it's gone. Last is Gyarados and I just use Chocolate as long as I possibly can. Twin Needle poisons and I even go for another one, even though Aerial Ace deals more damage, but it doesn't really matter. If Chocolate goes down, I can use Cookie and Rock Slide to finish it. But Gyarados forgets to deal meaningful damage and Chocolate is actually able to grind it out, beating the Water Snake. The rival is defeated and it wasn't actually that hard to do. I feel like the battle could have been so much harder if Alakazam's move pool would be fixed, but I take the win very happily. The Silph Co is a very nice place, a lot of good items are here, and never forget, on each floor is one hidden item in one of those pots. I think these are the stat boosting items and some other stuff. If I need money for TMs, this is the best place to get some for nearly free, but let's fight first. The final boss of Silph Co is Giovanni, and his team is quite lacking in regards to the rival, but let's check it out. I start with Vanilla against Nidorino. Psychic unfortunately didn't KO, but Fury Attack misses and it goes down right after with another hit. Rhyhorn is a bad choice, because of Vanilla's Giga Drain. It's actually better for me, I like easy wins. Kangaskhan can be quite an issue and Psychic deals no damage, but I anticipate a Fake Out anyway, just using Stun Spore and switch out into Cookie. Brick Rake is a very useful move and it is here as well, but doesn't KO in one go. Just shows how bulky Kangaskhan can be. Last is Nidoqueen and I want to see how much Dig does. It doesn't deal a lot and Body Slam crushes my hopes and dreams of seeing Cookie succeed in this encounter. It takes another hit to let my Pinsir crumble to pieces. But Caramel is still here to use a nasty Psybeam and removing Giovanni's last Pokemon from the battlefield. This particular battle is never really too hard, but it has to be done to rescue the Silph Co from his clutches. Now with Team Rocket gone from Saffron City and basically gone from Kanto, I can walk into most of the buildings now. One of them is the Saffron City Gym, home to the next gym leader, Sabrina. Battling against Sabrina is always dangerous. Her team has the firepower to destroy everyone, but sometimes she just doesn't want to. I start with Chocolate against her Kadabra. I'm faster and Twinneedle easily beats it in one go. Mr. Mime should be a bit more tanky, but Twinneedle was too strong again and Mr. Mime goes down. The crit didn't matter. Alakazam is the real issue here. But I want to keep Chocolate and switch into Cookie, but Psychic doesn't KO. I assume it goes down quickly, but Alakazam uses Future Sight now and gets to about half. I wanted to play around Hyper Potions and hit again, and Alakazam uses another Future Sight which will fail. That battle is now completely out of hand with Sabrina switching into Venomoth. Future Sight fails and I can just use Rock Slide to get a free KO on Venomoth. Thanks, I guess? You would think Alakazam just takes the KO now? But no, it doesn't. Hyper Potion is used and I bring it back on half HP. But it used another Future Sight and it gets down to healing range again. I misclick on Dig while Alakazam gets healed up. That was really stupid. Dig hits it into yellow and Future Sight failed again. But guess what? It uses another Future Sight. But I wasn't able to KO and it finally went for the KO on Cookie. That was crazy. I thought maybe Mint could take one hit, but Psychic crits and takes it out immediately. I made the mistake to use Vanilla in the next Future Sight turn, very stupid. But Alakazam used yet another Future Sight, which is completely useless. And it goes down to one of Vanilla's Thief attack. That battle was so weird, Sabrina just refused to take the win. If Alakazam just spammed Psychic all day, I would have lost easily. But you know how it goes. I just take the win and move on. This is usually the part where the level difference plays a big role. Until now I got away with mostly doing just a trainer in the areas with a big training session in between for the stats. But now the level increases with only a few trainers. Well, technically it's my fault, the game wants me to go through Seafoam Island and beating the trainers on the way there. But I usually skip it with flying to Pallet Town and surfing south, skipping all of it. And in the Pokemon Mansion a trainer, but not a single one is mandatory to do. Granted, if you are a new player without any guides, you will get the levels needed just by exploring. I did the games so off by now, I fly through the games, so that's on me. It also doesn't help that every single trainer in Sabrina's and Blaine's gym are skippable as well. And let's not forget the last gym, there are only 2 mandatory trainer in there, and besides that, there isn't a story part in between. In Fire Red and Leaf Green they added a Savvy Islands. If I can't beat Giovanni, I might do that instead. But let's do the next gym first. Blaine is a very interesting opponent. Before these Fire Red and Leaf Greens runs, I would have never guessed that he is an issue ever. But here I am, with a bug team against a Fire Lord. I was surprised when Cookie was faster against Growlithe, even with the 9 level difference. I one-shotted it with Dig, and I hope it wasn't even close. Now against Ponyta I'm still faster, but it is 2 level lower than the Fire Dog. Unfortunately Dig does not KO and Fire Blast takes Cookie out. This is not good. Caramel is here to beat Ponyta after Hyper Potion and multiple hits. But now with Rapidash the battle is over. I'm slower. Fire Blast seems to have a 100% hit rate and everything I have is very weak against fire. I think the battle is possible with some levels. I believe Cookie is the way to victory. I think Arcanine will be the biggest hurdle by far, and I'm actually not sure which level I need to beat it. I try every other level and see how it turns out. I try again with Cookie on level 35. I have leveled up most of my team a bit higher until I realized a way to win. I got a Heartstone from a Wild Onix and Rock Slide does more damage than Dig, but Growlithe goes down anyway. Ponyta is next and Rock Slide easily removes it from the battle, not even close. Now comes Rapidash and that's way more interesting. I hit with Rock Slide and it goes down to like 1 HP or something. I got the flinch and was super happy about it. Hyper Potion fills it up and Rock Slide removes the HP again. Blaine has only 2 Hyper Potion and I removed them at this point, so I tried to put Rapidash into range with Brick Break. This was probably a mistake. Rock Slide misses, but Fire Blast misses as well. One more turn and I hit, putting Rapidash down and Blaine's Ice Arcanine enters the arena. Rock Slide hits for over half, but Fire Blast comes next and defeats Cookie in one go. I chose Caramel next and went for Stun Spore, and Arcanine actually stayed paralyzed. No, I went for another one since Blaine has a full heal ready to go, but this was probably not a good idea, considering he doesn't have any healing items left. Psybeam doesn't KO, and I can now use Vanilla to deliver the finishing blow in form of Psychic, defeating Arcanine. Blaine is done, he has nothing left to do. It's crazy how easy he was in the end, considering Cookie was 12 level under Arcanine and a flinch could have won on the spot. But I take the win and see what the last gym leader has to offer. I have to admit, I didn't expect this at all. Maybe there would be some complications, maybe I'm too slow or too weak to beat him. But no, I used one Pokemon and Giovanni fell down like the Team Rocket organization he was the head of. Before you are wondering, there are 2 mandatory trainer in front of Giovanni and the 2 levels were gained on Vanilla because of those 2. Giovanni can be strong if you are slower than his Pokemon or you can't one-hit them and don't want to see any Earthquakes. I start with Vanilla against Rhyhorn and thanks to Giga Drain, the Rock Ground type goes down immediately. The second Rhyhorn is used, I assume because of Rock against the bugged Flying type. Here starts a real battle. Dugtrio is slower and it gets hit by its Giga Drain, but doesn't KO. Unfortunately, it has only Slash which can even hit Vanilla. I take it, use Giga Drain again and then Psychic to finish Dugtrio off. Nidoqueen has Body Slam, but Psychic is super effective and puts it into KO range. I just had to trust in no paralysis. I said earlier that Venomoths are basically like Butterfrees, but that's not true when your opponent can use Earthquake. Nidoking went down the same way as Nidoqueen, which leaves Giovanni without any further Pokemon, and I win the last batch of the run. Only one more rival fight and Elite 4 left to do. I am very scared of the rival battle. Charizard is the strongest Pokemon in this game, and it will destroy anyone in my team in one hit. I have to need a Quick Claw proc for Spore, or just lose on spot. Let's see how it goes. The rival fight is basically impossible at this point. I am way too underleveled, and even if I'm able to hit, it's way too low. Keep in mind, he has Pidgeot, Alakazam and Charizard. I'm not sure what I should do to make the battle doable and interesting at the same time. I have some below level 40, maybe I should bring them up to 40 first and see how it goes. But I think the battle isn't possible before level 45, but maybe I'm wrong. At level 43 the battle was doable, but I had to hit a lot of moves which are not 100% hit rate. First is Pidgeot, and I used Cookie and its Rock Slide to deal a lot of damage and actually flinch. Wasn't necessary, but I like to see it. One Brick Break and the first one is down. I don't have a safe move against Rhyhorn, so I switch into Mint to tank whatever Rhyhorn can do. Besides Horn Drill of course, and hit back with Bullet Seed until the Rock and Ground type is defeated. Now comes Charizard and my whole team just goes down against it, so I have to use some dirty tricks. After Mint goes down, Caramel uses Stun Spot to slow the Fire Dragon down. Caramel is destroyed by Wing Attack without a critical hit. Now I can use Cookie again and thanks to Paralysis it's faster, hits with Rock Slide for an easy KO. Execute is a bit hard to deal with. Cookie doesn't have any good moves here and I still need it later, so I switch into Vanilla. Thief is dark and special, it also deals enough damage to 2-hit KO the Easter eggs, but I get paralyzed in the process. That sounds bad, but it's fine. Alakazam could just beat Vanilla up, but it doesn't want to, until I paralyze it first. I try to push some damage as well, but Future Sight was used and timed it so perfectly that it hit Chocolate after Vanilla went down. My Beedrill survives it easily, so I was scared to over nothing, but Twin Needle hits and Alakazam is defeated. Last Gyarados in this battle was very interesting. I wanted to deal some damage, but I already knew it will come down to Rock Slide's hit rate. After some turns, Chocolate went down and I used Cookie, my last Pokemon. Rock Slide does hit and doesn't KO, which was really bad, but Gyarados didn't do anything too relevant and I could win the turn after. That battle was a bit harder than I expected. I'm not looking forward to the champion battle at all. The next part of the game will be very hard. First Lorelei, I can use Brick Break and Rock Slide, but I don't like to rely on a flint chance. If the Elite 4 looks very bad, I'll go back and relearn Sleep Powder on Vanilla and Caramel, but I believe that the battles will become very easy because of it. Maybe not necessarily easy, but the battle dynamic changes quite a bit. Anyway, I think I can do it. Lorelei will be very hard to beat, but Bruno should be totally fine. Not in the one Pokemon sweep way, but I should be able to beat him as a team. Agatha is nasty. If she is faster, there will be no way to win at this point. But if my team is faster, the battle should actually be quite easy to do. But let's see. Here are the stats for the first try. I level up everyone to level 45. That level feels kind of right. I don't remember what level my team was on the other runs, but I assume at the end the team has to be around 55 or something. The stats are just too low to beat most of the big hitter Pokemon like Lapras, Aerodactyl and basically everyone in the Champions team. But let the fun begin. Oh boy, the first try is going absolutely horrible. I tried this battle multiple times and the problem is simply I can't deal enough damage. Dugong is quite easy to beat with Rock Slide, especially when it flinches. Cloyster is a bit boring to beat, it uses Protect so many times it's crazy. In this try for example, Cloyster goes down after I used 10 Brick Breaks, that's too much. And Hail as well, takes a lot of time, but in the end Cloyster goes down. Slowbro is a very hit or miss, sometimes it just KOs my physical attacker and then uses Amnesia to give me a lot of trouble. But Chocolate's Twin Needle deals a lot of damage and can KO after several turns. And Cookie's Earthquake is good as well. Lapras is the real problem of Lorelei. It can tank every attack without any problems and deals a lot of damage. I had many tries where I was able to KO Lapras, but Jinx. Oh no, Jinx. It is just faster than my team, can put me to sleep and KOs most of my team easily. So I don't see any way to beat this battle yet. Thanks for all the Meowths I used for pickup, I have a lot of rare candies, like a lot. I can just level up inside Elite 4 to see which level I need to continue. That's a nice plus, I guess. At level 49, Cookie learns Sword Stance. I know, I didn't want to use that many power-up moves, but I wanted to test the battle against Lorelei with it. First is Dugong, and it goes down in one hit with a critical Rock Slide. Didn't really matter. Cloyster can't do anything relevant to Cookie, so I use not one, but 2 Sword Stance, and then KO with the Brick Break. I got lucky, it used 2 Protect and then nothing to get KO'd. No, Slowbro is a bit interesting. I used an Earthquake with 2 Sword Stance and it actually survived, which is amazing. It doesn't matter overall, but it shows how little damage my team actually does. Lapras is weak to fighting, and Brick Break hits for a lot of damage, so it goes down. Last is Jinx, it has no defense at all and it didn't matter which move I used to KO. Actually, Brick Break was the weakest one. Lorelei is defeated and I can finally move on in the Elite 4. Bruno is a second Elite 4 member and of course he has no chance against my team and especially Vanilla. First Zornex and it's double weak to Giga Drain, easily one-shotting it. Hitmonchan is next and Psychic does over half, but Rock Tomb hits and KOs Vanilla in one go. Well, sometimes being super effective is not enough. I choose Caramel next and KO it with Psybeam. The champ is Bruno's ace. I stay in and press on Psybeam as hard as I can until one of us goes down. And it's of course Machamp. I think Rock Tomb would have been more damage, but what do I know. Hitmonlee has more special defense than physical, but there's no reason to switch now, letting Caramel go down in glorious fashion. Chocolate comes out and uses one aerial ace for a lot of damage, but Mega Kick KOs in return. Cookie comes to the rescue and defeats Hitmonlee easily. And it can't really do anything against Cookie while it uses not one, but 2 Earthquake to defeat the Rock Snake. Bruno is out of Pokemon and I can move on to the most annoying Elite 4 member, maybe ever. Agatha is a Poison type Elite 4 member and has all the annoying moves in the game. First up is Gengar and I use Vanilla Psychic to deal an immense amount of damage. Toxic misses and Gengar is slower now, so it goes down. Next is Golbat and it has Confuse Ray. If I had to make a tier list of most annoying moves, this would place second right after Double Team. Erika barely doesn't KO, and Vanilla was able to hit one Psychic and then goes down to Golbat's Bite. I chose Caramel next and Psybeam is enough to KO the bat. Next is Haunter and I don't want to see a Hypnosis please. It did use it, but missed. So I can KO the next turn, thank you. Agatha's ace, Gengar 2 is the hardest opponent to beat. Psybeam does about half, while Shadow Ball does exactly half as well. Psybeam hits the second time and leaves Gengar with like 1 HP, while Shadow Ball hits and crits. Very annoying. Now comes the really disgusting part of the battle. I chose Cookie next. Use Rock Slide while Gengar gets fully healed, but it does below half and now comes the long grind with Hypnosis, trying to wake up and hit with Rock Slide. This will take a while and I just hope to hit sometime to win. There was actually the one time I woke up but missed. Why do rock moves have slower hit rate? Anyway, after some more time has gone by, Cookie wakes up and has enough of it, hitting with Rock Slide for the KO. Last Zarbok and Earthquake just KOs from full HP. I like this a lot more than the Gengar battle. Agatha is defeated and I can finally move on to the most likely hardest battle in the entire run. Lance is actually impossible to beat. Gyarados can't do anything against Cookie, so that's not an issue. But Aerodactyl, that Pokemon literally one-shots every single one of my team easily. I think I need to be faster than him to have a chance, and I did. When I used all my rare candies on Caramel, my fastest Pokemon. I need level 61 to outspeed Aerodactyl, which is crazy. And even then, the battle isn't won. I use Stun Spore on it and beat it, but lose to Dragonite right after. So I believe it's time to go on a little vacation tour. The Savvy Islands were added to the game to bridge the content gap between Blaine and the last gym. It is made skippable to be as truthful to the originals as possible. Well, they still made some changes, like removing Moltres from Victory Road and added to Mount Amber. The Savvy Island have one thing which is not available in the main game, and that is a move relearner. To relearn a move, you need either a big mushroom or 2 tiny mushrooms. They are available on Wild Paras and Mount Moon. Vanilla has still Thieves on the moveset, so getting some mushrooms is quite easy. The story on Savvy Island is quite short. First go to Island 2 and talk to the guy from the game corner. Afterwards move to Island 3 and battle the biker gang. After they leave, the way is open to the Berry Forest. And in here is a little girl playing with Hypno. Let's not talk about this any further, it's not a nice story. After Hypno is defeated, I can move freely between the islands and Kanto, and that's when I relearn Sleep Powder on Caramel to finally beat the last Elite Four member. I needed an insane amount of tries to get through Lance, just because every single move can miss. Versus Gyarados, and Cookie can just use 2 Rock Slides to beat it. The damage to Cookie doesn't really matter in the long run. Now comes Aerodactyl and I have to switch into Mint. It survived the move but goes down right afterwards. I get the Effect Spore Paralysis, but this might be actually bad. Using Caramel I can now go for Psychic instead of Sleep Powder, and the Rock Bird uses Scary Face. Another Psychic puts it into the potion range, and a special defense drop might be all I needed. Another Scary Face doesn't matter. In the full restore turn I use Sleep Powder to get some free turns. And now I can use another Psychic, but Aerodactyl wakes up and hits hard with Wing Attack. But Caramel survived and can finish it off. That was brutal, but I got it. Lance's Ace Dragonite is now faster, so I switch into Chocolate, since it's the least useful Pokemon in the team and I need to remove the speed drops. Now back into Caramel and using Sleep Powder to get free turns. I use Psychic, which does less than half, and the next Psychic puts it into Citrus Berry range. Now comes another Psychic and I see the special defense drop to KO it in the end with just Caramel. That was crazy, but I was very lucky with Sleep. The first Dragonair gets put to sleep instantly, and I actually misclick on another Sleep Powder. I was very angry about it, because that could potentially ruin the fight. But it didn't, it was fine, and Dragonair goes down to 1 Psychic crit. Last Pokemon is Dragonair 2, and after seeing the Psychic crit KO, I just went for 1 to put it below half. Caramel goes down to make some space for Cookie to finish the battle off with 1 Earthquake, defeating Dragonair 2. Finally, Lance is defeated. It took so long, but I got there. Only the champion is left and I hope the battle goes smoother. I tested a lot and didn't record the failed attempts. The important part is Cookie needs to be faster than Charizard. If that happens, the battle is doable, which also happens at level 61. Pidgeot is first and Cookie can use 2 Rock Slides to beat it, or 1 Rock Slide and 1 Brick Break like I did here. Against Rhydon I have to switch into Mint, the only encounter where Mint can survive and do something. That is actually not necessary to win, but I take every damage I can. When it goes down I use Vanilla next to get an easy Giga Drain KO. Now comes Charizard. I have to let Vanilla go here and use Cookie next. It's faster and can use an easy Rock Slide to KO it from full HP. Alakazam can be very scary, but at that level I can use 1 Earthquake and finish it in 1 go. When Executor comes, I realize I don't have a move with Cookie and switch into Chocolate. Dodging Sleep Powder is not necessary, but welcome. Twin Needle doesn't KO, but it's so hard underleveled, it's fine. Another hit and Executor is done. Last Pokemon is Gyarados and Chocolate tries to deal damage, which didn't work out. Caramel used Sleep Powder, and I can hit with Psychic for some damage. But Gyarados wakes up immediately and hits hard with Thrash. I could go for another sleep, but I think the battle is over, letting Caramel go for Cookie. I can use 1 Rock Slide to finish Gyarados off, defeating the champion and finally beating the game. The run was a lot of fun. Bugs are usually very underused, and in Kanto, most of them are available in the early game, making it seem like they are not very good. I really liked that Cookie was able to shine here. I really liked it. Lorelei is very hard to beat, and in the end, all it took was a Swords Dance. Back to the question, can I beat Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green with just Bug-type Pokemon? Yes, I can. If you have any suggestions or have any advice for the run, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one.